These could be the best transforming Nerf blasters ever made, so how come everyone's forgotten about them? When I first discovered their existence, I immediately thought there's no way that these can both transform and work as good Nerf blasters, right? Also, they hit shelves in 2007 at 3 times the price of blasters with similar firepower. Were these just cash grab gimmicks like so many before? Over 16 years after release, I hunted them down to find the truth for myself. Today, I'll share 5 reasons why these could be the best transforming blasters ever made, 3 flaws, and whether you should add these vintage Nerf blasters to your collection. Number 1, the illusion of being just model toys. When I got these, I took a closer look and realized, oh yeah, the Optimus Prime Battle Rig blaster looks like a truck. The Starscream Barrel Roll blaster looks like a jet. Like, I mean, if you didn't know what these were, to think that they transform into actual Nerf blasters would not be on any sane person's bingo card. And that's a huge compliment to the design team. Most other Nerf blasters that transform go from an unimpressive form to blaster form. In both these forms, they look like display-worthy Transformers models. There's a nice gradient of metallic blue all over the jet to give the surface some texture and some variety. You have the flames on Optimus Prime from the movie. The boxy bottom of the jet looks a little bit awkward, but the truck looks very natural. You can even store figures inside them. And the truck even has rolling wheels, which are really squeaky. I think there's some decent play value just in the jet and the truck modes of these blasters. It helps that the condition of my blasters are pretty pristine. A few years ago, I was scrolling on Craigslist and I found the Optimus Prime blaster. I've never seen it listed before, so I said, screw it. I drove to a different city and I coughed up $40 for it.
I got it, and it is in freaking good condition.
My Starscream blaster also looks pretty clean, and shout out to one of the members of a local Nerf group who gave it to me. Number 2, from vehicle to blaster. Before getting these, my main concern was how easy and cool it would be to transform them into blasters. Turns out I had nothing to worry about. There's a handle inside each blaster that you grip onto. With your other hand, you can pull this handle, or the more reckless and fun way, you can whip this. My god, that's so cool. The Starscream blaster is just as easy to transform. The transforming motion feels like a very kinetic, dynamic, full body movement where the toys practically invert themselves to reveal the barrels. It's a very tactile feeling when you feel the blaster ratchet as you transform them. Some other transforming Nerf blasters just unfold themselves, or it takes a really long and tedious process to actually transform them. The smooth swap from vehicle to blaster is just on a different level here. The truck's exhaust pipe and the jet's exhaust ports turn into the barrels. This isn't just a simple unfolding of the blasters. What made these gimmicks especially special is that during the time of release, there weren't any other transforming blasters like it on the market. And right now, I'm giving away free money. 4 winners will receive a $10 GamerSupps e-gift card. So to enter, like this video, press subscribe, and leave a comment with the hashtag GamerSupps and tell me which of the 2 transforming Nerf blasters you like the most. I'll announce the winners in a YouTube community post in about a week. For everyone else, get 10% off your GamerSupps order by using code LEGITBREAD at checkout. Links down below. Number 3, dart holders. Since both the Optimus Prime and the Starscream blasters are single-shot blasters, it was nice that the toy engineers also thought to put in built-in dart storage. There's 3 dart holders inside the Battle Rig blaster, but they immediately become inaccessible once you put your hand inside the blaster, so that's kind of a big flaw, but I guess it's kind of cool that they decided to implement it anyways. The 4 dart holders on the jet wings are much more thought out. They don't get in the way or fall out when you transform the blaster. Number 4, blaster mode design. The engineers leaned in hard for the design here. For both blasters, a good chunk of your arm is inside the blaster like a power gauntlet. Optimus Prime and Starscream's hands are etched on the outer side, so it gives you this illusion that you've become one with the Transformers themselves. Wielding these gauntlets gives you a sense of scale and power that other transforming Nerf blasters don't give you. I mean, look at this kid, he probably thinks he's a Decepticon at this point. Number 5, easy to use. For the Optimus Prime blaster, take 1 Mega Dart, insert it into the barrel, prime the priming handle, and pull the trigger inside the gauntlet to fire a single dart. For the Starscream blaster, insert 2 Mega Darts inside the barrels, pull back the slide priming grip, and pull the trigger to fire both darts at once. I do like the nozzle style priming grip on the Optimus Prime blaster. At this point, I'm more than impressed with these blasters, but let's cover 3 areas that they lack in, which could determine whether you buy these for yourself or not. Flaw number 1, performance. Performance is fine. The Mega Darts fly pretty straight and fly around 20-ish plus feet, which is to be expected from blasters of this era. It's most likely that these darts are old, but I find that they don't sit very snugly inside the Starscream blaster. If I hold the blaster downwards, they just fall out. So honestly, performance could be worse. The more concerning thing is, over the years, these blasters have a lot of moving parts so they can experience wear and tear. It was just sitting in storage, but for some reason my Starscream blaster doesn't work nearly as well as it did when I filmed my firing test footage. Flaw number 2, practicality. In blaster mode, one big design flaw is the trigger pull. I can't show you this because the trigger's inside the blaster, but it literally feels like your index finger has to squeeze an adamantium jelly bean just to fire a dart. It's not ergonomic at all. And like I mentioned before, because these models are so old at this point, sometimes when I pull the trigger, the darts don't fire out instantaneously. Sometimes it'll take a few squeezes before it actually fires. The fact that these are huge, transforming gauntlets is awesome, but it also makes them feel like Rock Lee's weights on your arms. Their sheer girth makes it feel like more trouble than it's worth on the battlefield. Back in the day, I kinda imagined myself using this blaster in a battle for about 10 minutes, getting carpal tunnel, and then switching to a Nerf Maverick, which is much more practical. Flaw number 3, price. Both the Optimus Prime Battle Rig Blaster and the Starscream Barrel Roll Blaster retailed for about $30 each in 2007. That's about $45 today, adjusting for inflation. I mean, that's a lot of money for single-shot blasters geared towards a younger audience. The best deal that you could get was the bonus pack of the Optimus Prime Blaster. These started to pop up at Targets in late 2007. They still cost $30, but at least you got a bonus figure with them. And fun fact, in some European countries, the Battle Rig Blaster was known as the Big Rig Blaster. These are now vintage and rare, so what's the price on these blasters today? It really ranges. eBay gives you a good idea of their international market value. Right now, in used condition, they're worth more than the original new blasters that you could buy back in 2007. And that's kind of to be expected. But if you're lucky, you might be able to thrift these for less than the $40 Canadian I paid for my Optimus Prime blaster. I've demonstrated how these could be the best transforming Nerf blasters ever made, but right now, are they worth buying for your collection? I'm impressed by the engineering feat that allows for barely any compromise in these toys when it comes to vehicle mode and blaster mode. But like I mentioned before, you're not going to be using these blasters on the local Nerf battlefields in today's day and age, especially with some of these thrifted models not working squeaky clean anymore. If I were to guess, these are most likely going to appeal to the Transformer diehards out there or people who just want to display these. But to my Nerf collectors and thrifters out there, how much are you willing to spend on these? I could be wrong, but chances are you probably won't be spending the eBay going rate for these blasters. Check out my other vintage Nerf blaster reviews by clicking over here.